everybody, and welcome back to another AGP Creator Podcast. As always, I am the host. I am Amanda Gilliam, and today we have an exciting show for you. I love this woman. I love her comics. I can't wait to talk about this Kickstarter. Her comics are one of my absolute favorites in all the world. But before we get to that, of course, we always have to thank our amazing sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't be able to continue this show or do the gaming that we do. So without further ado, let's give a big shout out to the Gem City Comic Con that's coming to you on July 24th to 25th at the Dayton Convention Center in Dayton, Ohio. Of course, as always, we do understand that times are hard, things like that, and do understand that there will be no panels or gaming at this show this year for your safety and the safety of all the participants. Of course, with that, in October, November, we have their sister show, the Champion City Comic Con, coming to you at Springfield, Ohio. We have Sean Forney illustration in their independent comic Scarlet Huntress, which is a reimagining of Little Red Riding Hood, where she's grown up and she hunts cryptoids. And then, of course, we have Hazard Productions and their independent comics like Peter Pudded and Jelly, Pitter Patter, and their adult comic Roadkill Rampage. And check both of these guys out every Thursday night and Friday night as they sketch off against one another, picking pop culture icons. You can check them out on their respective channels, so make sure that you check them out. And that's every Thursday and Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not to forget the amazing Mess Comics, standing for the Metropolitan Sewer System, that's based right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, with their protagonist Lilliput and her pet rat, Akka. And of course, to the UVN, the Underground Video Network, that's been covering for the last 20 years everything in pop culture, from comics to cosplay to movies to television. Make sure that you check them out. And to fellow Twitch streamer Ziggy with his mental health Twitch stream that he does every day, 7 days a week, make sure that you check them out. Now, without further ado, I give you a woman who is a goddess among all people. Her talent is known throughout the universe far and wide. I want everybody to welcome the darling, the precious, Miss Madeleine Holly-Rosing.
I think that's the best intro I've ever had. Thank you so much.
You deserve it.
That was great.
You're amazing. I cannot tell you. Well, I already kind of told you how excited I get every year. I'm like, and it's a new year. Where's my message on Twitter? Please don't let her forget about me. And I'm always excited and I'm always happy that you came aboard. You because we met with you asking me, and then This has just been a yearly thing, and I get so excited for this one because you have one of my favorite comics of all time.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're my introduction into steampunk. I'm like, okay, what's steampunk? I don't get it. You're my introduction into steampunk because you put in other elements like history and, of course, the paranormal into it. So, there's that steam. But I think that's what's so great is you have a comic that if you are into the paranormal, if you're into history, if you're into steampunk, if you're into great character development, if you're into great stories and mystery and plot lines, there is something for everybody in your comics. And I think that's what makes them fantastic.
Yeah, well, I think it helps that I'm interested in all of the above. So, I like cross-genre stuff. I think it's a lot more interesting. It's just more fun. And here I am. But yeah, I didn't forget you this year. We ran the Kickstarter a little bit later, a few months later than what I have been in the past. A lot of it had to do with Gwen's schedule and my schedule and the pandemic and everything else. But obviously we got it all worked out.
There was a pandemic? When did that happen?
Yeah.
No, I mean, and that's the thing is like I didn't have my hopes up for anything this year, and I commend every creator for going above and beyond, not only still getting out their normal stuff, but I have watched so many creators adapt to this situation, and they're like, I'm not quite sure I want to go back to a lot of the old ways. These new ways seem to be really nice and comfy because I get to be in my house.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I did get a lot of work done. I'm always amazed when I get work done because it's like, how does this even happen? Because there's just so many distractions going on. But yeah, in the past year, obviously I've finished writing the Book of Demons, which is what we're kickstarting. And I finished the first novel in a new trilogy, Boston Metaphysical trilogy, that covers what I call the House Wars, which is the equivalent of the American Civil War, which starts about 35 years before the original 6-issue miniseries. And I finished an 8-episode audio drama with a brand new Boston Metaphysical story. And we're actually in pre-production of that right now. We're doing callbacks of the voice actors next weekend. So we should have our leads, and I'll definitely announce that when we have our leads through the Kickstarter. And then we'll be casting for supporting characters. But and then we'll go to Kickstarter for that in the fall.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's called The Ghost Ship, and very excited about that. But yeah, we can talk about that more later if you want.
Of course. I'm already excited.
Yeah.
You're participating in it. I'm already excited. Which, speaking about excitement, of course, guys, I've mentioned I love these comics. And Madeleine contacts me. Hey, we got our new Kickstarter coming out. This is the day it's releasing. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I wonder what this is going to be about. And then it pops up and I'm like, ooh. And I was like, oh, the great, one of my favorite redheads in history is in trouble. Because I don't know what it is about a protagonist that's a redhead. They always make some of the most interesting characters. I don't know if it's just you pop red hair on a character, like Mara Jade in Star Wars became one of the most interesting characters, things like that. But there's just something about a redhead because they're sexy. And I was like, oh no. And I've always told you this. Caitlin's one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
I realize she's like kind of like a big deal, but like I really like her as a character. And then I read what it said and I went, oh no. 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 So first off, so people understand, tell them a little bit about the character.
Well, so they understand what the whole premise of the series is. First, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battle supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. We originally started with the 3 characters of Samuel, who you see at the top with the compound bow, Granville Woods, who is an actual historical figure, and Caitlin O'Sullivan is our medium and spirit photographer. After our original 6-issue miniseries, her abilities grew and evolved. So we imparted that was part of our second sequel, Spirit of Rebellion, where she met Alma, who's the African-American woman standing next to her, who is also a scientist, and their story of how they met and eventually became involved in union organizing and they'd actually gone to New York to start working up there because Caitlin was wanted by the authorities in Boston. So they were kind of hiding out and working in New York. But of course, things always bring her back to Boston. And the Book of Demons is, though can be read as a standalone, it is a continuation of Ghosts and Demons, which was a story right before this. It kind of set up how she could communicate with demons, her abilities, and the fact that her mother, Erin, discovered that her daughter actually had power over them. She had some sort of control over demons, of which no one quite understands. And you get a little bit more background into why that is in the Book of Demons. Because the Book of Demons itself, it's an old Puritan journal. Yeah, Scourge was our first sequel, then Spirit, then Ghosts and Demons. And, oh yes, our coloring book.
Coloring book!
But yeah, it's really her evolution, their fight with the being known as a shifter in the original 6-issue miniseries, changed everybody. Everyone's got a bit of PSTD, and it also changed her abilities. So she's discovered she has telekinetic powers and is gradually learning how to control them, and with Alma's help. And so it's interesting. You get to see glimpses of the scientific method of study with her relationship with Alma. So what I've always really tried to do is, even though, yes, this is supernatural, these things don't exist, it's all fictional, yet many of the things are grounded in reality. Like, you're going to see the scientific method, and whatever science I use, if I can make it accurate, I will. Sometimes I can't, just because that's how the story unfolds.
That's why it's called sci-fi, people. That's why it's called sci-fi.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. All the relationships have evolved and changed over time, as they should. We can't. No, nobody stays the same, no matter.
No, and again,
no matter what they say.
like I said, that's something that I really do appreciate about the characters that you write, that you've created, is these events do dictate through their actions what happens to them in the future, and how their personalities or their personas or even their outlook on something might change because of something that directly affected them or someone that they knew. And so it's really interesting to watch how, you really, they're very defined characters, and each one of them reacts the way that you were expecting them to react. But yet sometimes there's still this revelation when they go this path, and you're like, oh, they went that way. I might have thought they went this way, but I could see why they went that way too. And I love the detail that you put into it. Not just the world you created, but the characters, because we see a lot, especially in some mainstream comics. I'm not saying all, but we've seen it in mainstream comics before, where the character got defined, one note character, and that's all that they were, and that's all that they were ever going to be for the longest time. And that gets so dull and I think that's one of the reasons why I appreciate independent creators, because there is a heart and soul behind these characters that you, the creator, put into them, and it's so refreshing.
Yeah, and it just makes it more fun for me as the writer, to have them evolve. And a lot of times in the first drafts, I come up with stuff, they haven't changed. And then I go back and I'm like, that's not going to work. I mean, XYZ happened, and she's going to have a response, or he's going to have a response to this.
Right.
And,
I mean, clearly there's something that's going to happen with this comic.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Read it loud and clear. When the Great House discovers Caitlyn's ability to control demons, she is kidnapped and forced to find and enslave one. With great power comes, oops, you're going to get kidnapped. But, and the thing is like, you did create this world where she has these powers. People are going to want to be able to use these.
Yeah. And they're developing on her as well. So she's not sure what she can do. I mean, you see her practice with Alma, and so you get a sense of that she's, obviously in every issue she's going to be improving, and she's going to get better, and she's going to get, have more control over what she's doing. And it's interesting. And the demons also aren't your normal demons that you see that just wreak destruction and havoc, and they're actually not inherently evil. They're just another sentient species in my world, but no one knows how to deal with them except for people like Caitlin, even though she doesn't know that yet. She's still beginning to understand the relationship she has with them. So And that was what was really fun about doing the House Wars novel, which hopefully will be all of that trilogy. I'll probably release that all at once next year, late next year sometime. We actually discover the origins of that journal and how it all works.
Right. So, okay. You teased me so badly. Give.
Oh yeah.
I want the Plague Doctor. Oh my gosh, this is like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, every year I do a fun little contest on Facebook, and I just say like, hey, I need ideas for the next lapel pin for our next Kickstarter. If I choose yours and we produce it, I'm gonna mail you one. And so a young lady said Plague Doctor, and I kind of went like, oh yeah, duh. That should have been obvious to me, but no, it wasn't. So Alejandro Lee, once again, he did the design, and yeah, I actually have them. They look really good. They actually look better than the picture there. The picture doesn't really do it justice, but they came out very, very well. And so what I decided to do is one of the stretch goals, which is what we've already made, is do magnets. So yeah, if you scroll down more, everyone who pledges, oh yeah, that's the whole set. We have a whole set.
I need a minute. Okay, I think I can continue.
Yes. Yeah.
I have that. That's my first Boston Metaphysical thing ever.
Yeah, she did such a lovely cover.
Actually, I think your stretch goals because you are up here. Actually,
we start there, but then it goes into detail down at the bottom.
Let's go. Pew, 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 pew. You got to do sound effects with it. Sorry.
I know. Yeah, so we do have, we've gone through a new, like 5 stretch goals already.
There we go.
So yeah, that's our first one. That is a pinup by Ashley Woods of Caitlin and Alma. So that goes to those who have pledged $10 and above to a physical reward.
You know what I like about this is the look on Caitlin's face, where she's like, okay, yeah, like she's got the power pose and all, but you can still see in her face like she's not sure what she's doing. And then you have Alma there, and she's like, bring it. I dare you. Like that to me actually kind of represents why they actually really kind of get along sometimes, is because even though Alma looks like she wouldn't have that type of, I got this type thing, she really does in her own right.
She's a little bit older than Caitlin, has more life experience, more education. She's definitely more educated. So yeah, she's going to bring a maturity that Caitlin just doesn't have yet. Caitlin's like 20 years old. Caitlin's Alma's in her early 30s. So yeah, they're just, it's going to be different.
And they work off of each other so well. They really do.
Yeah. And then these are digital rewards, and that goes to everyone who's pledged to a reward. So we got those.
Look at all my new comics I get to read, guys.
Yep. You got those already.
I know. And now I'm going to get them again because I never not back you.
And that's this is from Roberta in Granada.
So cool.
Yeah, she did a beautiful job. I was so happy she had time to do this. She's doing Doctor Who now, I believe.
Is she?
For Titan Comics, yeah.
Nice. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, she was such a sweetheart.
They saw this. They were like, "That's very Doctor-esque. We're taking that. We want her." That's what it was. They saw this. Oh, more comics.
More comics. Got more comics. And then I think the one after this are the magnets. where you get the owl and the plague doctor. Yeah, there they are.
Why do you do this to me?
To torture you.
To torture me.
To torture you. I do it intentionally to torture you, yes.
You do it intentionally to torture me. And then, of course, we have the next set of comics. Which you should be coming to really shortly.
And then I know a lot of people, I keep my stretch goals secret just because sometimes with the behind the scenes timing, every once in a while I may have to shift some things around. And so this just gives me more ability to do that if I need to.
I'm always looking at your stuff because your stuff is just so cool.
Thank
Nothing
you.
but books. Pledge $70. It's just you are, first off, completely amazing at what you've been able to do with Kickstarter. I've told you this before, and I actually sent people to you. I'll be like, look, I know this girl. Contact her. She's very successful on Kickstarter. I believe you had a book or something about doing it.
Yeah, it's called Kickstarter for the Independent Creator.
And I was like, she's got a book. She could tell you where to get the book and maybe talk to her or something like that. See, she could give you a tip or something. I was like, she's so nice, is so sweet. Obviously, she's not going to give you all of her details because, but so I've sent people to you to contact you to get your book, stuff like that, because you're really successful on Kickstarter. And there's been many people that they've tried and they failed. And it's like, and I think one of the things is, you see a lot of people, I think they make, because everybody has that big tier. Even you have that big tier.
Oh, of course. We all do. Yeah.
But you can't rely on, I think one of the problems that I see with a lot of people who try to go to Kickstarter is they try to rely on that 2 or 3 big tiers that they have available. And that's not where most of it comes from, especially in times like now. You need those $1, $5, $6, $10 tiers. And if you make your stretch goals like you do, you're like, okay, thank you for backing. If you back this amount, 10, these are the stretch goals that you'll get. But you have one there for the people who can only afford the $6 one. And I think that's something that people miss out is people go, well, why would I spend $10 on this comic here? Because you're not going to get just that comic. And if you really think about it, if it's successful like yours are, you're not getting just that comic. You saw all the really cool things that are available to get. So you're actually getting more than a $10 worth if you really think about it.
Yeah, you're also at this point you're getting if you've back to a physical reward, you're not only getting all the pin, you're getting the pinups, you're getting the magnets, but you're also getting right now 12 additional comics.
Right.
And when we make this stretch goal, you'll be getting 18 additional comics, and there'll be more stuff after that. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You'll be getting additional stuff, all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah.
Right. And when it comes to a Kickstarter, guys, obviously the product that you have needs, you have to make something that people enjoy. Now, I would say a lot of people know your stuff really well at this point.
Yes.
But when you started, not everybody knew what it was. And you've grown a fan base over time.
Yes.
And so if you're just starting out, talk to friends. Look what Madeleine did. If you look at those stretch goals, those comics, they're other people's comics.
Yeah.
So, and so if you have friends of yours who are like independent creators, be like, hey, so I want to do the stretch goal. Do you think it'd be cool if we gave them a digital copy of your comic for this stretch goal, stuff like that? Reach out to your friends, network. It really helps, I think.
Well, yeah, it's about establishing relationships, and I've been doing this and working cons since I think 2013. So
she means comic conventions. She's not conning any people.
Yeah. And, and also being consistent in that, people are looking, I usually do, Kickstarter towards earlier in the year, but I let people know through social media and through my newsletter that, okay, it's going to come a few months later. And here it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, just like I told you, and, delivering your stuff, at least relatively on time. Sometimes we were a little, about a month late last time, but that was because the warehouse shut down due to the big pandemic, and the comics were done, but I couldn't get them shipped to me until the warehouse opened up enough for the guys to work. And people understand that, when stuff like that happens, you just have to tell them. And it was actually kind of funny and sad at the same time, because it's like, okay, guys, the good news is that all the books are printed and ready to go. The bad news was that they shut down the warehouse the day after they were supposed to be shipped out.
Right. But I do like the technique that you have. You're letting people know, hey, look, this is what I'm looking forward to. So be on the lookout for it. So you get the hype up before the Kickstarter even launches.
Yeah.
It's like Kickstarters are normally about 30 days?
Yeah. Most people do about 30 days. I would not recommend going longer, because it makes you insane. But if you have a short goal and something that's ready to go out the door, you can do a 14-day. I know people have been very successful with 14-day ones, but it's something really specific, and it's usually something that's literally ready to go out the door within weeks after the money's cleared.
So this started about 7 days ago is when it dropped, right?
Correct. Last Tuesday, March 30th.
Okay. So that was March 30th. To let you know what this woman does, I got a message at the beginning of February asking for this date today to be on the podcast to promote it. This girl knows what she's doing. This girl's smart. She's running, guys. She's got that 200 IQ right there. She's got it. She's just absolutely got it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. On my show, you do.
But yeah, it's a lot about pre-planning, and I set up all of these interviews 2 months ago. Yeah. Just so I could have the dates and times that I wanted, and your schedule would be open so you could do it, and it works out for everybody because we're all set. But in talking about pre-planning and the Kickstarter book, a fun story. I don't remember if I told you this before. I was at a con a few years ago. A gentleman bought the book on a Friday night. He came back on Saturday and said, I've read your book. Mm-hmm. And I said, great. And he says, I'll never do a Kickstarter. And I looked at him, I said, that was the best $10 you ever spent, because now you know what is required to have a successful Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. It's perfectly fine not to do a crowdfunding campaign if you don't want to do it. And if you have other ways to achieve your goal, that's awesome. But if he went into doing a campaign without this knowledge, he would have been agonizing for a month. It would have been the worst month of his life, practically. And that's an exaggeration, of course, but it would have been a terrible month for him.
I don't know if it is an exaggeration. I've heard some horror stories from people at Kickstarter. They're just like, let it in, just let it in. Even ones that have successful ones, sometimes, I know a couple people, they've had successful ones, and then they'll get on the phone and I'll be like, congratulations. She's like, don't you ever let me do anything like that again. But you're successful. Don't you ever let me do anything like that again. Okay, no problem. Yeah. No problem. It's very, I don't think people understand, especially with Kickstarter. When you put something out there and you have 30 days, it's kind of like being a content creator. You're always looking, how many views did my video get? What do I need to do to get more views? Why? oh my gosh, somebody disliked my video. Why did they dislike my video? Oh my gosh, am I doing something? And these are the emotions that you go through 24/7 for the full 30 days while the Kickstarter's going on.
Yeah, I actually don't look at that.
But there are a lot of people that do.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I monitor everything and I keep on top of stuff, and I know what needs to go out, on a daily basis, and I'll review things. If there's any changes, if I need to change a strategy, if something's not working. Yeah, I mean, you're constantly monitoring things and responding to questions and thanking backers. And you need to stay on top of it. But fortunately, I mean, I've done this enough that it's almost.
She thinks. Look, people, she thinks.
That, I'm sure it is stressful for me, but it's not as stressful as, say, as, the first couple ones that I did. You've learned to, and my husband and I, has learned to deal with me through all of this. Poor man.
Honey, you okay in there? I'm busy. All right, honey, I'll be over here in a minute. Bye.
Yeah, but he knows, and I do think he's proud of, what I can do, and
you better be, because I'm proud of what you could do, and I'm not married to you, so. I mean, and I only bring this up because I want people to see, there's always something about, being part of this comic community that, you can give advice because you've been there, you've done that, and you've made it successful. And like I said, she's not giving you all of her tips or tricks, guys. You want that? She's got a book for you. But, you're always so genuine. You're always so honest that, it's one of the reasons why I like bringing it up when you are here, because I know that you're going to give honest criticism when it comes to doing a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's something that I really appreciate about you, is you're just honest. Jeez, this is like one of the most honest people I have ever met in my entire lifetime.
I also try to be tactful
honey,
too.
I just had to ask, do you have any flaws whatsoever? Because I'm unable to find any from you.
Yeah, plenty of flaws. Plenty.
So, of course, as always, here we are. Now, obviously, like she said, yes, they have already reached their goal. They are already working on their rewards. But of course, remember, guys, you want to get in on some of these rewards, you need to pledge. And even if you can't pledge, helping out, because even if Kickstarter's already achieved its goal, the more that it grows, the more this allows the creator to be able to do more for the fans. So we all understand that, especially right now, times are hard, but everybody has hard times throughout their lives. So we understand that not everybody can pledge as much as you want it, that you're not going to be able to always pledge. But what you can do is you can share it. Being able to share something like that really does end up helping out everything, by being able to just share it on your social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and just letting people know, hey, look, this is an amazing thing going on. We have, and it's right there. You could go straight to it and it'll show you right straight up on it, share on Facebook, share on Twitter, send it via email. You can even just click right here and it gives you the link that you can go and insert onto Instagram. And this will actually help spread the word, because there may be people in your community that may not be able to see it because they never knew about it, but you help them see something that they're like, oh my gosh, it's supernatural, and it's steampunk, and it's history, and it's excellent drawing and character development, and booyah, I need this.
Yeah, no, it's obviously if you can't pledge, sharing, posting, retweeting is really important and very much appreciated. Because you never know who you're going to reach. You just don't know. So it's always great to have people just retweeting and sharing and posting, and it just helps spread the word some more.
So, and hello, all the people who just showed up to say hi.
Hi.
There's Nanny, and look at that. And I said hello to everyone back. Oh, loves, you're getting loves already. Look at you.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
So,
that might be you.
No. But I wanted to take a moment to show off your video that helps talk a little bit about the Kickstarter. Would you mind doing that? Then let's go ahead and bring that up.
Not at all. And I'm the writer, creator of the steampunk supernatural series, Boston Metaphysical Society. Welcome to our Kickstarter to print our latest sequel, The Book of Demons. For those of you who are not familiar with the story, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battle supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. In the news story, Caitlin is kidnapped by a great house when they discover that she can control demons. But by the time Samuel and the team find out, it might be too late for Caitlin and the striking workers in Boston. The story is 41 pages long, and though it can be read as a standalone, it is a continuation of Ghosts and Demons. The entire book will be 48 pages and perfect bound, which means lots of extras for you. And Gwen Tavares is back on board doing the art and coloring. The best part is that the book should be ready to go to the letterer by the end of the campaign. And for those of you who are new to the Boston Metaphysical universe, the trade paperback of the original series will be available, as well as the previous sequels, The Scourge, the Mechanical Men, The Spirit of Rebellion, and Ghosts and Demons, along with our brand new lapel pin, The Plague Doctor, designed by Alejandro Lee. So please take a look at the reward tiers on the Kickstarter homepage and pledge today. Thank you in advance for your support.
Boo-yah. That was amazing. So within this small band of time, I don't know if you saw, but people are going, "What's going on? What's this?" There's already the comment, "I want this." Yes, you do, Allie. You really do want this comic. And of course, this one right here. Where could I purchase these in the UK? I love stuff like this. Well, boo-yah. And here you go. Ladies and gentlemen, there in the chat for you is the link to Madeleine's Kickstarter for the Boston Metaphysical Society.
And for the person in the UK, I do ship to the UK. And we do have digital packages as well. I kind of call them my international packages because I know some people don't want to pay the international shipping, which is understandable. But this year I was able to work out some discounts for international. So take a look at that and see if it's something that's in your budget. But like I said, there are the digital packages, which There's two of them. There's one that just is the graphic novels, and then there's the super digital package, which not only has all the graphic novels, but the prose as well, the novel and the anthology. So yeah, I realize everyone has a budget. I get that. I have my Kickstarter budget every month as well. So, I have a lot of other people. I'm a super backer. If you look, I am a super backer.
Yes, she is.
But, even I got guys, I just, got to my budget. So, if it hasn't, if you've maxed out your budget, just please share and post and tweet and all that other good stuff. And hope to see you next time around.
Oh yeah. And guys, definitely make sure that you check her out. She, if you want to check out some of her stuff, maybe you can't get everything this time around because some of the older books are there for the Kickstarter, things like that. But let's say you just can't afford that at this time. They do have a website called the Boston Metaphysical Society.com. It's right there coming along the bottom of the screen, right there at the bottom, right before it says Kickstarter. Check it out. You can find a lot of their stuff over there as well. So you could go, oh, yes, maybe, cool. Let's check this out and see when I could actually do that.
Well, what I did do for the first time here, because I noticed at cons, what people were buying, like the packages they were buying. And I went I wonder if this would work for the Kickstarter, is a nice package. It's called the starter kit. That's the reward tier. And it's the original trade paperback and the prequel novel, A Storm of Secrets. So, which is really nice because that provides the foundation for the entire series, introduces you to all the characters. So if you like prose and graphic novels, because I know a lot of people like both or prefer one or the other, this will give you the grounding for the entire universe.
Which it says right there, pledge $35 or more. Obviously, we're talking U.S. money.
Yeah.
But it does say right there, are you new to Boston Metaphysical Society and just want to get a taste of what this is all about? This combo pack of our original 6-issue miniseries is in trade paperback, and the prequel novel, A Storm of Secrets, will give you the foundation of the universe and introduce you to the main characters without breaking the bank. Note, it does not include the graphic novel, The Book of Demons. This package does include a signed by the creator physical copy of Boston Metaphysical Society original trade paperback, assigned by the creator, this wonderful woman here, physical copy of the novel Boston Metaphysical Society, A Storm of Secrets, domestic, postage US, your name in on the Kickstarter. Thank you all. And the only reason why I knew that I could go ahead and say something about it, because I know a lot of these people that are watching right now are from over the pond, they're on the UK, is because I've always known that you say right there, ships anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
See, I pay attention to your Kickstarter.
You do pay attention. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Because, do you know how many times I've actually watched people interview somebody who's like, oh, can anybody buy it? Where do you ship to? It's like, it's there in the corner. Read the Kickstarter before you bring them on. No.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, and I'm the one who actually wrote all this, the only tiers that are U.S. only are for the retailer packages, the merchant packages, because that just tends to be too expensive to ship. And the upper tiers of the Kickstarter consulting.
Right. And if you are wondering, guys, it will tell you, and I can show it right here because you have this one. Pledge $40 or more for our hardworking trades folks. Special for merchants, this package includes 5 signed copies by the creator. It'll tell you if it only ships in the United States. So, of course, if you're outside of the United States and you're taking a look at it, it will tell you if it ships anywhere to the world or if it's something that's only in the United States. All you got to do is look at the bottom right-hand corner of whatever tier you're looking at, and just follow whatever it says. Look at all that stuff. Woo. By the way, we all see, yep, I backed. I got this. It's mine. I did what I could. Normally I go straight into the 35s, but
hey, every bit is appreciated. I can assure you, every bit.
You know what? for someone who is so gracious to contact me, call me friend, and give me this opportunity, every year you have a Kickstarter. It's the very least I can do is to support you, my friend, in
Well,
your
thank you very
endeavors.
muit. I really appreciate it.
That, and I really like the comic.
Well, that's even better. That's the best reason of all.
It's really interesting. I think I love the fact that the very first time you're on here, I had no idea what your comic was, and I'm just like, uh-huh, uh-huh. I don't even know what steampunk is. Now here I am going, is it February yet? Is it March yet? Like, when do I get my new comic? I need my new comic. I really do. And so since a lot of you guys just showed up real quick, so this is the type of comic that if you're looking for a comic that has very well written characters, an amazing storyline, you like history, you like steampunk, you like mystery, science fiction, the paranormal, this is the comic for you. This combines all of that and so much more. It is so entertaining with refreshing characters that you're going to go, yeah, I have that type of personality. And yeah, I totally see that. And you're going to have your favorites, and you're going to have these moments in these comics and in these books that this amazing woman has created. And the team, her artists are phenomenal. I was so happy to see that your artist came back.
Oh, Gwen, yeah.
Yes.
And also, my artists are women, and they always will be women, because since I'm the one who signs the checks, I get to decide.
But and again, it's just something that's really cool, and it's really amazing to see through this amount of time the progression that you've done, and it's so refreshing to know that Boston Metaphysical is not going to be slowing down anytime soon.
No, particularly since we're in pre-production for the audio drama, which will be on Kickstarter in the fall. It's called The Ghost Ship. We're doing callbacks for the leads next weekend. So hopefully next week I will be announcing who will be playing Samuel, Caitlin, and Granville, and our narrator. We got some great actors. They're so good. I'm just amazed.
I would have auditioned, but I can't do a Boston accent. So.
Oh, well, they're not doing Boston accents anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's no. I know they're not going to do Boston accent.
How many people showed up doing the Boston accent, and you're just like, no.
Actually, no one did, because she's Irish. So she's
that
Irish.
Is true. That is true.
So she has an Irish accent. Actually, I think Samuel has been the hardest to cast, because this is a man who is deeply empathetic, but he's tough as nails. Yet, he's also gone through some major trauma in his life. And it's to find a voice actor who can make all of that come through is hard.
How can I really put this in nerd terms for everybody? He is a mixture of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader mixed in a blender. He really is. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. But, I mean, he's definitely gone. He's gone through it, and Granville being, Granville is often the smartest man in the room, the smartest person in the room, but yet, it's tempered by the common sense and Caitlin and her knowledge, her street knowledge of, and her own psychic abilities and what she's capable of. And it's a very fun relationship. But it's called The Ghost Ship. It is set during the 6-issue, time-wise, during the 6-issue miniseries. So Alma is not a part of it. And that's strictly budgetary. This is a full cast. We're using a full voiceover cast, sound engineer, sound effects, music, everything. So yeah, I did have to make that production decision, maybe later on, but I figured let's start with something smaller and see how people responded, and then go from that. But yeah, like I said, that'll be on Kickstarter in the fall. And but I will be sending out casting notices in a couple weeks for our supporting characters, one of which, by the way, will be Thomas Edison. And he's just, I hate him so much that I love writing him. I just hate this man so much that it's a blast. It's like, how much of an ass can I like make him just, and it's so much fun.
I hate him. I love him. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just love it. Because, again, you're just that type of writer that it's like, even like you just said, I don't like this guy, but I love writing him. You have such a passion about creating characters, whether it's something off of the top of your head or bringing to life an actual physical person that's lived in the past. You just have such a passion, and it's like you hold that character in your palm of your hand and you're like, got it. And you set them down, and it's like they're right there and they're moving for you as you're typing. Like, I see this. I don't know if that's actually what happens in your mind, but that's the way that I envision you making these characters.
Yeah, I think like most writers, our characters live in our heads, and they exist. They just simply exist. They might only exist here, but they exist. So it's a lot of fun.
But no, it is amazing. And again, as always, I just have to thank you so much for coming on. I have to thank you so much for bringing Boston Metaphysical Society into my life.
Well, I want to thank you for having me on every year. It's so much fun to get a chance to talk to you. Maybe one of these days we'll actually meet in person.
Someday we will meet.
Yes.
As you saw at the beginning, the shows that I run are opening back up. They're very limited space, of course, for the vendors and things like that. No panels, no gaming, to stay on the safe side. You know, we're getting our vaccines now. I actually go on the 20th for my second one. Yay!
Oh, congratulations. I actually get my second one the end of this week. So yeah, on the 9th. So I should be pretty much on my ass on Saturday. I won't be.
It's funny. I get mine on 4/20 of all days. And I'm getting it at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh boy. Okay. Drink lots of fluids.
Oh, I will. Luckily, my mom used to work in the medical profession. So she, she's like, okay, you have to take these vitamins and don't do this and don't do that. And you need to do this and you need to do that. And, everybody talks about all the different things that, they're, everybody, reacts to this differently. Like my mom's arm, she couldn't use it for 3 days. Me, my arm was fine after the first day. Mine were, I was constantly sleepy. All I wanted to do was sleep, and everything had a metallic taste. Those were my 2 side effects. Yeah.
Everyone's different. I was tired. My arm hurt a little bit after the first one. My husband had Moderna. I had Pfizer.
I got Pfizer too.
He was basically sleeping all day the day after he had his second one, and then he was fine. He was totally fine.
And the thing is I can't say that the sleepiness was completely because of the vaccine, because I had just put together an online comic book convention. You're busy, putting an online comic book convention is just as stressful and hardworking as putting on an in-person show. It's like,
oh my God, yeah.
It really is. So, and it was a 2-day show, so it was like all day, get this person and do this, because we set it up panel after panel with 15-minute intervals so people could get up, use the bathroom, get something to drink, come back for the next one. So, just making sure everything stayed flowing and getting the videos out and things like that. It was a lot of fun, but it was exhausting, and it was literally 2 days before I was getting my vaccine. So I can't blame the tiredness all on the vaccine. I'm sure, since that seems to be like the most popular thing that everybody deals with.
Yeah.
I was just uber like,
hey, but that's great. And then you're, and then you're done.
But yeah,
and it's fine.
We will meet in person someday, and I am going to give you the biggest hug you have ever had in your entire life, because so you're my friend. Like, we are friends. I just never get to see you. I've never physically touched you in this realm. But we talk, and I can tell you and talk to you about anything. And, as much as I'm appreciative of having this amazing comic, which you all need to go support, please go support it. Please support this amazing comic. You will not, under any circumstances, be disappointed with this. I promise you. Again, if you have not checked it out, here is the link yet again in the description. Please head over there, check it out. But just knowing that I have someone that if I can have a bad day, I can message you on Twitter, and you're just like, talk to me, and I want to let you know how much I appreciate that. It's meeting people like you that makes me continue doing what I do here on the Creator Show.
No, and I'm very appreciative of that. I mean, I think you're doing a great job, and a service to the community. Absolutely.
I'm a service to the community. What was that? And you can do that for me, even though yes. Okay. I was trying to ask if you. I was trying to see if you was. The guy that I just showed, his name is Ziggy. He's in the UK. Oh. Another really good friend. I've never been able to touch him on this plane. I met him through Twitch streaming. But definitely a really great friend, and I'm very appreciative. But on that note, guys, we are into the last of our hours. Is there anything else, Madeleine, that you would like to tell people?
Other than please back the Kickstarter if you can. If you can't, share, tweet, repost. Come visit the website at bostonmetaphysicalsociety.com. Crossing my fingers. Right now, I'm scheduled to be at Fan Expo Boston in August. And what's after that? Oh, yeah, Rose City, Portland, Oregon in September. I know I'm going to be doing Gaslight Expo, which is a small steampunk convention in October. And I know San Diego Comic-Con is going to do their little 3-day thing over the Thanksgiving weekend, and we're talking about doing that. I've yet to. I know, since I'm already an exhibitor for regular Comic-Con, I think we're supposed to get first dibs. I could be incorrect on that, but I think we are. But I'll probably do it just because. Why not?
Right. So
it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah. I mean.
So yeah, I'll be all those places too.
But of course, guys, as always, please remember, we understand if you can't back this amazing Kickstarter, but share it. Facebook it, Instagram it, tweet it, send it out via email, tell friends about it, be like, oh my gosh, check this out, I saw this, I thought of you. Spreading the word helps just as much
absolutely
as being able to back it. And of course, big shout out to Madeleine Holly-Rosing for again stopping by on the AGP Creator panels and being able to share this amazing comic. And again, if you're just tuning in, Boston Metaphysical Society, this is a comic that will not only intrigue you for the amazing writing and art style, the character development, the world building, but if you're into the paranormal, you're into sci-fi, you're into comedy, you're into mystery, you're into steampunk, you're into history, this is a comic for all of you, and it has so much more. On that note, we thank you again, Madeleine, for stopping by.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate it. To all of you out there, thank you so much for stopping by, saying hi, and supporting this amazing woman. And we will see you all on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.